So I'm taking these faucets off of this sink, which are old and rusty and also not old enough, honestly. These are probably from the 1960s. And I'm going to replace them with some nice historical replica ones. The problem being that the nut is rusted on there and there's no easy access to it because the wrench doesn't fit up inside the area of the sink because of this nice big edge and such. And so I don't have any access to get up in there. And I've tried my pliers, and they don't fit in there either, because I don't care about this nut. Once I get it off, it can be dead. I don't care if I make a mess of it, I just need to get it off. But I can't get it off if I can't get a grip on it. And, but in any case, I'm going to cut them off, and I don't care, because as soon as they're off, they just go in the garbage, and then I don't have to think about them anymore. But right now, they're all I can think about because I need to get them off. So, next cut. Here we go. So, work proceeds. I've removed the first of the faucets, working on removing the second one, though I have an additional problem, which is that the new faucet has little tabs on it, which are intended to keep the thing straight. And the way the sink is cut, those tabs mean that the faucet wants to face either here, not exactly perfect, or here, equally not exactly perfect, when I want it to face here, at which point it won't go down into the slot. So,
show us those tabs again.
These two little tabs. So I'm going to have to use my trusty Dremel tool to cut off the tabs very carefully. So that will be my project before doing the final installation here. So, never a dull moment. Never anything that goes quite easily, right?
Nothing's ever easy.
Right.
Anyone can see. Nothing's ever easy for me.
Exactly. I successfully cut the tabs off of these faucets so they would fit the sink properly. That Dremel tool is very useful. And now I've adjusted things and connected them, and the water is back on, and now we have hot and cold running water, along with a functioning standing waste drain. Yeah. So, this toilet has an interesting story. This is exactly the location of the original toilet, and you can see that in order to make it fit the room properly, the toilet had to be angled separately from the tank. So, this meant that we had a little bit of challenge making things work. This is the original tank. This is copper, and it's enameled, and I've had to touch up the enamel here and there. And most of the hardware in that tank was brass that was so corroded that if I touched it, it crumbled. And so the hardware inside the tank, except for the lever, has been replaced. This is the original lever. And the bowl of the toilet had the original toilet bowl was still there, but water had been in it and it had frozen and cracked and it was leaking all over. And so unfortunately that toilet had to go. And we had to find a modern toilet bowl that I could adapt to the original tank. And this beautiful one with the decorative floral patterns both outside it and inside it, we found from England. And this I didn't realize was going to be such a big deal. I didn't realize that British plumbing and American plumbing use completely different sizes and standards. So, when this came, and I got the pipe for it, and I was like, oh, this doesn't fit. I'll just get an adapter. And then adapters proved rather difficult to find because no one does this. No one tries to make British and American toilet parts work together. No one does this, except me.
So it's an American tank with a British bowl.
It's an American tank with a British bowl. And
I've learned that since we moved here, I've learned that they call what we in the Northwest called the bowl, they here in the Midwest call the stool.
Which to me is the wrong term, because stool is something else entirely. Well, it is related, but it's not this.
It's something else related to
It's
toilets.
not made of porcelain.
Right.
And
I still prefer calling it a bowl.
now
That's my Northwest
I
thing.
call it a bowl too, and that's what I'm going to call it, and we're going to shift the landscape of language here. Now, one of the things that is cool about this installation that may have been intentional, this is the original seat that was on this toilet when we moved in, is that you can flush it like this. The lever moves over this way. But if you actually have this lid lifted, you can't flush it until you've lowered the lid. Now this makes it very appropriate for households with females in it who really want that lid to be put back down. And it reminds people that you have to lower that because you can't flush until you do. So I thought that was kind of interesting and nice, a little built-in thing.
Conducive to a happy marriage.
Conducive to a happy marriage. And up above here, we have a light fixture that I have built out of parts from a brass place. And
when we moved in, there was just a bare light bulb there.
yeah, there was a bare light bulb on a porcelain fixture, but the wiring to this location was definitely original from when they wired the house, sometime very early on, because it's cloth wiring.
The porcelain fixture that was there wasn't anything fancy. It was just a screw base.
But in this case, I've used one of the original light sockets out here with the original pull cord, and then used all the rest of these, parts in order to make a proper fixture that would look right and fit properly into this bathroom. And I think that the little floral curves and such fit very nicely along with our nice floral glass shade.
Yeah,
so,
that porcelain base that was in there was in fact so plain and utilitarian it's now in the chicken coop.
Correct. I found a use for it that was fitting to its station. So, well, I'm very glad to have this back in operation, and now to have a fully functional bathroom sink in here as well, without grody old faucets. And I think that's
they were
really,
grody, dude.
They were grody. My 80s heritage is showing.
Yes, we were both from the 80s.
So, now I just have to clean and polish the sink, and then clean up in here a little bit, and then this bathroom will be back in functional condition.
It's more of a WC.
It's more of a WC, yes. There is no bath in this room.
We couldn't even fit a bird bath in here.
No, I don't think we could. Maybe a foot bath. Maybe.
Maybe.
But you'd have to sit on the toilet.
You might be able to fit a bird bath for a canary in here.
Yes. But it wouldn't be a capacious one.
No.
So now I'm going to be removing some of the hardware that is around the downstairs bathroom here, including all of these hinges and latches and this towel bar and this useless picture hanger that's just getting thrown away, to make it easier to paint in here. So that will be a minor task, but one that is important to do.
Partly because our house is a neoclassical, and neoclassicals all have a sort of overgrown temple inspiration, and partly as a nod to the fern fever of the 19th century, I opted to stencil ferns in our bathroom. And that completes the saga of the bathroom of the Plumbings.
Thank you for watching today. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, please give it a nice thumbs up. And with the holidays around the corner, remember that my books make great gifts. Thank you, everybody. Have a great day. Bye-bye.